Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. Look at all of this. There are over 130 embellished tags in this tub. And as the title promises, in this video, I will share with you 100 specific ways to embellish a tag. Whether you're a seasoned paper crafter or a curious beginner, you will discover so many good things in this video. You will see classic techniques that you know and love. You will discover creative methods you've never seen before. And the best part is that these ideas are applicable to, of course, tags, but also other areas of paper crafting, such as journal making, art journaling, page spreads, and beyond. It will be so much fun. So let's get started. My main issue now is that I don't know which tag to start with. So I'm just gonna have to randomly, I'm gonna start with this one. Idea number one is to use tree branches. By the way, I'm not going to count as we go, but I will put the names on screen so that you can perhaps jot some down if you really find them inspiring or whatnot. So in this tag, in this idea, I just used tree branches, like little sticks that I found outside of my door. And you can play around with this idea, like you can have it over here, you can do like a little this type of a thing with a tree branch, just a little booklet. And this is what I mean, you can use these ideas, you know, it doesn't have to just be tags, and just go ahead and create all types of different things. So what I did is I just tied them up here, they have a little loop, and then I, you know, embellished with a bird and a bit of twine and just made it like a nature type tag. Next idea, and I have two of the examples here to show you, is to cover with mesh. Any type of mesh. This is like some type of a mesh. It was a Christmas decorative thing. I can't remember what it's called. And then this is like a screen on a window, you know, to protect from bugs and stuff like that. Anyway, I had a piece of it and I just put it onto a tag. By the way, all of these tags are handmade, so I just cut them down. I cut down these pieces of cardstock, these file folder things, and I wanted all of my tags to be exactly the same size and uniform. And I really wanted to focus on the different techniques rather than just showing 100 tags that I embellished different ways. Like I wanted to have specific techniques, such as next idea, which is to use a die cut machine for your die cuts, you can see here. And then of course using the negatives of the die cut. So that's the next idea. So these butterflies came out of this tag, and then I just glued underneath this decorative scrapbook paper. Next idea is to use watercolor. So I use this gold and bronze watercolor on this tag. I just basically colored the tag, and then here I used bright colors, just watercolor. And then over here I just put a little die cut of this lady and something up the top, just a bit of ribbon. Oh, I like this one. Here we have a handmade bow. And by the way, I just wanted to mention this. I had a gardening accident, so you know, it's not too bad, but it was quite painful when it happened. But anyway, back to the idea. This here is just a bow that I made, and they're very easy to make. I do have a video where I made this bow, and I will link it down below. But let's just take any piece of ribbon just very quickly, And you know, just to demonstrate kind of how easy it is to make a bow, you just do this. You just put your little pieces like this. So you have your string, you pop it down on top of over here, and then you pop this one down. I'm sure, look, there's plenty of tutorials on making bows, but you know, if you do something like this, you can put a little stitch here and a little button on top like I did over here, only I used two, and there's your little bow, and then you just stick it down onto a tag. That's pretty cool. And I just used over here for this handle, I just used a piece of this, what I was demonstrating with. I can think of so many other ways of using this idea. Moving along. Next idea is to have a tassel down the bottom, just like this. For a long while, this was my absolutely favorite tag. Look how beautiful that is. The light today isn't helping my projects come to life, but I just punched some holes down the bottom and put in some of this fun tassel business going on. And there it is. How cool is that? It looks a little bit oriental. Next we have a clusters idea, and this is actually like a little pocket too. So basically all this is, if you've watched my videos before, you may have followed along to make, these were actually festive clusters that I did for like Christmas, but they don't really have to be Christmas themed. I was just going for those colors, you know, red and green and stuff like this, you know what I mean? So if you have a stash, they can just go on your tags. Otherwise, a long time ago, I also made a video of just using little bits and pieces of leftover fabric that you have in your stash, putting them together and then putting a button on top or something, you know, in the center, usually a button, as you can see. And then you have a whole bunch and you can make them watching TV. It's so easy and relaxing, really. And you're using up your scraps, and then you have a whole bunch to use in your projects like this one here. So all I did is just took one of these clusters out of my box and glued it down, and I kind of left that as a pocket. It doesn't have to be, but it's such a beautifully embellished tag. Oh, let's look at this one next. So this idea is, I'm just going to call it ribbon idea. And basically I just took a piece of ribbon and stuck it between two tags. You can see two tags in there. Like I said, I cut these down myself, so you know, they're all perfectly the same size. And just took a piece of ribbon, just like this. Let me grab a smaller piece so that you can see better. And I did this, kind of like that breast cancer sign. And glued down onto a tag, and then glued another tag on top. And here we go. It has a little loop. I don't know what, I mean, if you're going to be using them for presents or whatever, decorations, you know, door signs, do not disturb. Well, that's the way to go. And then it's just simply decorated with a little bit of stenciling and a sticker. And now, since we're on this ribbon idea, I have over here an art theme. So of course we can go into themes. I didn't cover all the themes there are, there's millions, but this is an art theme, and I used the ribbon thing. Stamped the word art, and you know, this is pretty cool, like a cool little graduate, perhaps, little something. I think I made maybe 2 or 3 themed cards, and this one here is a Christmas themed tag, I should say, not card. And this one, I love it because while I was making it, it just flowed. Next idea, and I have 3 examples, are the dried flowers with clear contact paper on top. So these are actually actual flowers that have been dried, like in between book pages, and who knows how old these are, probably over 20 years, because they're my mum's dried flowers. And I just put them down onto a tag and then went over the top with clear contact paper, which is this thing. This is what I'm talking about. Perhaps this is called something different in your neck of the woods, but it's used to cover books and stuff, you know, so perfect for these projects. And the sewing that you see in a lot of my tags, it's just there for looks rather than it being necessary. So, you know, you don't have to sew it because the contact paper does kind of stay in place and keeps the flowers in place. But look how beautiful they are. And then on this one, I had stenciling. I did a little bit of stenciling, and it just adds more dimension to it. And then, of course, finished off with a little tag topper, and that's that idea. Next up is a really simple and straightforward idea, which is to make the tag into a pocket, and then I have a tag in a tag. Like, how cool is that? So yeah, it's just very simple, just a little pocket with scrapbook paper, and then I just embellished with a bit of lace and a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of sewing, and then just add another little tag in there. Just a fun little, you know, I'm sure you've thought of that idea by yourself, but there it is. Next idea, and this one's really simple, is to use buttons. I did use a little bit of burlap underneath and then buttons on top. And I also wanted to mention where I got the inspiration for this. It wasn't necessarily like to make 100 tags, but there was a page in here, or like this, Labels of Love it's called, and it had all of these tags, and these pink ones are the ones that I made. And you can see here the button one, you can see that. So I did pick out some ideas from here, not many really, I only did 4 from here, but that's all there is. So there's these, didn't even see this side, these ideas I didn't try, like wrapping it up and having a little piece of paper in there, and I don't know, what is this? What's this? Why did I cover this? I did not use a lemon. I covered it probably because I knew I'm not going to dry a lemon and put it on a tag. But anyway, this is just a book from, I think my mum gave it to me and she doesn't want it anymore. It's just got like random things, you know how they used to make these craft books. And I kind of lived through it before I donated, and that's when I came across this and I was like, oh, inspiration galore. So off I went making 100 tags. Moving along. Next idea is Asemic writing. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just fake writing. And I have 2 examples here. So this one here is embossed and this one isn't. And I think like the embossed one, and then I went over the top with some ink. I think it looks a little bit more like golden, like not golden, olden age kind of writing. And I'm not actually writing any words. So just to quickly demonstrate, like if you type it into Google, Asemic writing, it can come up. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, and basically this is it. So you can just, I'm letting my camera zoom, so you just like pretend to write words. I'm just writing scribbles, but I can pretend to actually write. So I can go, I can pretend to actually write words today on this lovely day. Okay, very messy over here, but you see what I mean. I love this technique, and I think we can do so much with it, like make old letters and Victorian letters kind of thing, you know, and pretend it's a letter from a lover or whatever, you know. So that's what I did over here. That's the kind of thing I was going for, the Asemic writing, and I like this one better than this one because it looks more old and authentic kind of thing. And I also used 2 different pens. Like I used a left space, and but when I was using the blue pen, I thought that's too much space, so I just went in between with a brown pen. Anyway, there it is. Just imagine the spreads that you can do with this. You don't need stamps, you just need your hand and a pen. All right, next. There's plenty of examples here. Obviously, I enjoyed this idea quite a bit. So this is contact paper. So, you know, at the start of the year or all year round, actually, they have contact paper for school. And there's all sorts of different types, like this golds, this kind of thing, like you can wrap your whole working area in this kind of thing. And, you know, Christmassy type, and anyway, so on and so forth. And you can cover your tags in whatever contact paper you have. And then you can go and emboss. Like, look how pretty this looks. I just love this metallic look. It's just covered in contact paper and then embossed. This one here, can't really see the embossing so much because it's quite thick contact paper, so it doesn't really make much difference. But anyway, then you can go and embellish with some die cuts and some tag toppers and so on. I kind of feel like I'm cheating with this one. So this one is idea over edge die cuts. By the way, these numbers are just, as I was going along, I was kind of naming them. So yeah, it's just a over the edge die cut. You're extending so far all of the tags. If you have a look, they're all, apart from this one actually, they're all within the tag. This one is overlapping the tag. So whenever you're designing or putting something on, you can just go ahead and expand, which I think we should do. this one next, because that's kind of what I did on this tag as well. So this one here is Glassine bag idea. So you are simply just gluing your tag onto a Glassine bag, and inside the Glassine, so we have the tag glued onto the Glassine bag, or any, it can be paper bag, whatever, you know, glued onto it. I do have a book page underneath, so I glued that onto the Glassine bag first. Then the tag comes on, and then this sticker, and it unifies the whole thing. Look how pretty this looks. You know, perhaps, I don't know, is it cheating? Like, it's not really embellishing a tag, it's just sticking a tag on top of another thing. And then inside, I did put something in there, like, you know, write a letter or whatnot. But you can take this idea and run with it and make like 20 of the same but different kind of thing, right? I hope you're feeling inspired so far. All right, next we have a side pocket idea. So, you know, we can go with the pocket idea so many different ways. And basically this is just 2 tags glued or sewn together. You can just glue them together. I made it into a pocket and put some actual offcuts of paper in there and made it a side pocket. Really quite simple and straightforward, and just embellished with, you know, little bits and pieces. I could have left these as little tuck spots and pockets, and just pocket galore. Quite fun. Next one we have, of course, you knew it was coming, the idea of a booklet. So I have 2 tags that I have joined together with some fabric by the looks of it, and washi tape on the inside, just 2 tags joined together. And then I have a little booklet in there using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Made a little thing so you can write a letter. Your tag can be an actual letter. These are so cool to tuck into journal spots and pockets and tuck spots and all that kind of fun. Little journaling companion. So this one's just covered in fabric. All right, next, a really simple idea. This one is just wrapping it with thread. That's all it is. Wrap with thread, and then I just put a little button here. This one literally will take 2 minutes to do, whereas like a Christmas themed one or a fully embellished one might take an hour. So this is one of the simpler ones. Oh, let's do another simple one. I made this one last night. We're using candy wrappers. So my daughter ate Ferrero Rocher candy and just left the wrapper on the kitchen counter, and I said, oh, what is this? I shall be using it. Look at that. Pretty cool. What seems ordinary is often the extraordinary. I don't know about that, but you know, candy wrappers, especially gold, oh yes, any time of the day I'll be using you. So this one, you know, you can see a little bit of stenciling underneath, and then I scrunched up that candy wrapper. The foil is easier to use than plastic candy wrappers, but you know, scratched it down and created this beautiful texture. And then I have a little tag topper, and that one's done. Speaking of texture, let me find, oh yes, not everyone is going to have this around their house, but if you have watched my video on paint skins, actually the video is called DIY acrylic paint skins, and basically this is what it is. Well, this one has cheesecloth, so not necessary, but this is the one I use in the tag. It's acrylic paint. I will link the video if you want to have a look. It's acrylic paint that you pour onto a plasticky surface and you let it dry, and then you have this gorgeous, gorgeous thing to work with. And you can see I already, you know, used most of mine up, so perhaps it's time to make some more. Here's another way that I used a paint skin, and I think I did this in that video, just to show what you can actually use. I did a few different projects, so you can see that. How cool does that look? So, paint skin. And back to the tags. On this one, what I did is I scrunched it up. So it's scrunched paint skin. And the texture is just absolutely glorious. It's actually a little bit disappointing on screen, to be honest with you. In real life, it just looks so mesmerizing. Like, this is acrylic paint. Just very quickly, look at this. You scrunch that up. Look at all this texture. And then you can pull it back out if you change your mind, and then it's going to flatten out. Like, does this make you want to go and make some acrylic paint skins? That's another thing that you can do, because why not? I think I need to hurry. I'm going to be here all day. Next one we have very simple, just flowers, just layered paper flowers held together with a brad and then glued onto a tag and a little tag topper, and that's that one. Next idea is using small envelopes. I made these envelopes, just tiny little staggered envelopes with an actual little piece of paper inside that can be written on. That's it, all three of them open up, and then the ribbon up here, the same method that I've spoken about before, only on a smaller scale. So just doing it up there, so that same kind of thing. I actually really love this tag. I think it must be one of my favorite tags. Next, very simple, okay, just an emboss. Use your embossing machine, and then after you have embossed your tag, you can go ahead and add a little bit of ink very gently over the top, just to kind of accentuate those raised areas, and very easy. I'm sure you've done this before. Next, we have some postage stamps, and I'm pretty sure I did it on both sides. Yes, I did. So I just used same size postage stamps. Oh, looks like I had exactly the same postage stamps. I had doubles. I didn't have double of this. I did. Oh, what's happening? They're all the same postage stamps on both sides. Anyway, postage stamps, like little tags, tabs, I want to say, and these are stickers and a postage stamp up the top. This is actually in a project that I did a while ago where I laminated postage stamps, and I made like little tags, little mini tags. Let's see if I can fish one out. And you know, oh, I'm so proud of myself. I knew that they were in this plastic thing, plastic little pouch. Just laminated postage stamps, and I made little tags, and you can make little charms, and you know, it's never ending really with the things that we can make. But I used one of these that I had in my stash and just chopped the top bit off and sewn it onto the tag. So anyway, postage stamps. Honestly, the ideas are endless, but once you sit down and you go to create and embellish and make, it can be hard to come up with ideas on spots. I don't know why that is. This one here is a folio tag. As you see, it opens up. So instead of cutting down a tag, it's still like the same size, which was my own rule that I made for myself. But instead of cutting down a single tag, I just cut down, you know, the height of the tag, folded it, and then chopped off the corners. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. And then it opens up, and all of these sections are pockets, and then I have a little ticker things in there, anything can go in there, and stickers, and that's all that is. So the thing is, like, there are thousands of ways that you can embellish a tag, but I have to say I struggled with the 100. Like, I struggled to come up. I didn't want to use the same idea over and over again, so I did find it a little bit of a challenge. All right, so next idea, these are 2 in 1. This one here is using a tea bag. So all I did is I grabbed a tea bag and removed the tea from inside. So I just cut it open, got rid of all the tea, and then inked and made it look really old. And then I changed this. I changed the original tea brand thing and just made this book page 1 and used the sticker. So, you know, the tea bag is the star of this tag. I was thinking, how can I use a tea bag? And then I came up with an idea that is so amazing to me that I didn't want to share it here in the video because I want to make a separate video on it. So tea bags, here I come. But then here's another one. This is actually a separate idea because that now we're using a used tea bag. You know I love my used tea bags. Look at this. I have a box of used tea bags, and these are mostly from dyeing papers. So the important thing is, if you're going to use used tea bags, you don't want to use tea bags that you've made tea with and then you added sugar and then you added milk, and then, you know, we don't want to do that. So these are just nothing added to it kind of thing. Anyway, used tea bags, and then I covered my tag in glue stick and put my tea bag on top and scrunched it up, and look at this beautiful texture. How cool does that look? One wasn't enough, so I had to add a second one here up the top, so you can kind of see a line. But I love this texture. It's very, very vintage kind of looking, isn't it? And then I made my own little tea bag. I I can't think, I don't know what this is called right now, but you know what that is. So moving along. Oh, really simple idea. Next one, which is just a napkin, and I did exactly the same thing. Covered my tag in glue stick, put one ply of napkin on top. I'm sure you've done this before. This is the second tag I ever did, well, for this project anyway. So I did sew around because I used glue stick to keep the tag, the napkin on, and the glue stick is just not good enough to hold it down in place for, you know, long period of time or whatever. But you can have, from each napkin you can make like 6 of these tags. So how many napkins do you have? You can make so many tags just using napkin. This one can be like a slight theme, butterflies in flight. Just use my punch, hello punch, and punched out some butterflies and stuck them down, and then, you know, did the dots, and they're kind of flying off into the sunset. Next, what is this one? Paper doilies. Very straightforward. You're just using some paper doilies and gluing them onto a tag, and, you know, I don't know, am I cheating here? Just wait, I do have another idea using paper doilies. So here I used 2 paper doilies and I made 4 pockets. So pocket, let me take the stuff out so you can see. Tags on tags, 4 pockets. So doily pockets is the idea, and it's very, very pretty, very feminine, very shabby chic kind of look. Perhaps this black thread was unnecessary, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna quickly grab 2 doilies and show you what I've done. Now I forgot where the tags go. I think it was something like this. All right, here we go. 2 paper doilies, even better if they've been tea dyed, and your tag. And then you, so simple, right? You just layer them like this. Pop it on your tag. How did I do this? I had to remind myself. And then you wrap one side, wrap the other side. Turn it around. Lovely. And then this, it's kind of hard doing this in the air. My hands are up in the air. And then this comes up. So you can see you have a pocket, and then how did I get 2 pockets on the back? What did I do? What kind of sorcery is this? Oh, one just goes behind here and one goes on top. So you see that? I think that's pretty straightforward, is it not? And I do remember these pieces kind of sticking out, so just chop them down, or you can move them in or whatever. So really easy and really quick. Paper doilies are so versatile. You can use them in so many different ways. Next idea is very straightforward. We're just using strips of lace. So you can see these are all different types of lace that I have. This one was so much fun to make. Very meditative. You just lay your lace pieces down, glue them down. I did glue them down, but I also then went ahead and sewn around because it's beautiful, isn't it? So beautiful. And then fluffy yarn up the top, and looks very Eastery. Easter is sort of coming up, but not that I'm going to do anything Easter wise, but you know, doesn't it? I love it. All right, now this one here is a doily paper clip. So just layered some doilies on top and a little lace flower here, and actually it's a paper clip, so it actually comes off. You can have your personalized message, or depends really what you're using these tags for, but this is just a little paper clip. So I actually didn't make this paper clip. It was sent to me, but very simple to make. So you have your doilies, and this is a lace flower. You can use another doily. And then you have a little piece, I don't know what this is. It must be some type of a canvas or something. And the paper clip is pushed through. I do have a video on how to make these, so I will try and find it and link it down below. But you're securing the paper clip to something, and then you're securing your layered flowers and doilies. Look at this, there's even some hidden ones under here, and they're all held together by the brad, whereas the paper clip is held together here. I have a video on making this type of thing, but pen holders anyway, I don't know why I mentioned that video. It's not really relevant, but you make it the same kind of way, and you can make a whole bunch of these and have a stash really, and then just anything you put it on, it's gonna like elevate anything at all. Next one, we're getting really simple here, and this is a washi tape tag. just strips of washi tape, all different thicknesses. You can see some thin washi tape or thick washi tape, and then thinner. You know, it doesn't have to be, but then it's all been embossed. And to be honest with you, I think the embossing kind of takes away from the washi tape a little bit, but I know you've done this kind of thing before, but it is just another way to embellish a tag. And then I'm going to do this one next. So this is a whimsical house, okay, and I have a video on whimsical houses, but it's so easy, so easy to make, and you're just using your paper offcuts. And I did make the roof kind of stick out off of the tag a little bit, but I just love whimsical houses. And especially I love projects that use leftover bits and pieces from previous projects. It's a never-ending battle with offcuts and leftovers. Next one I have here is an acetate overlay. Pretty cool and very easy and straightforward. Just a little piece of acetate, and I have a sticker on it, makes it like one of those see-through stickers, makes it more fun. And then I actually drew these lines on my tag, so you can write a little message on it, and then, you know, quite pretty and simple. All right, next you can make a belly band tag. Okay, I'm sure you've done this plenty of times before, and why not do it on a tag? Oh, you probably have done it on a tag. We're just making it into a belly band, and then you can put in a little booklet, or what is this? I made a little booklet, but you can do like a large piece of paper, fold it down, write a whole letter, and put it inside the belly band on the tag. Pretty cool. Oh, you might be wondering what I'm going to do with all of these tags. Next one, we have embroidery, and I have a video on this as well. Not that you need to really watch a tutorial on how to do this thing, but you simply draw yourself a design, and then you embroider it with embroidery floss. If you don't know how, well, I do have a video, and I will link it down below. And this is a whole lot of fun and a beautiful personalized tag, and you can do a journal cover, you know, with this. Oh, what should we do next? Let's do this one. Very straightforward. We are burning the edges. What is it? Burnt edges. You see? I just used a candle or a lighter, I can't remember, and just burnt those edges. And it looks very, you know, medieval, or I don't know. Next one, photographs. For this idea, you can use obviously photos of your family or whatever, you know. Here I just used vintage. These are actual photos. They were sent to me, and some of them have writing on the back. I didn't want to glue them down because they are actual people, and I like the fact that it can be removed from the tag. I love how this looks. Absolutely love this. Okay, next we have diamond, I think it's called diamond trim. I think I was getting a little bit desperate over here. This is number 92 on my list that I did, you know, not on this video because I'm randomly pulling them out, but a little desperation times are calling at number 92 when you want to make 100. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And this was last night at like 10 p.m. So I pulled out my diamond trims. I think it looks pretty cool, and this would look really nice in a boho or bohemian inspired kind of junk journal. In fact, would you look at that? I do have, going back to the themes, this is a boho inspired tag, bohemian, you know, kind of a, somebody told me in a video that because I used the word gypsy, and apparently that's not okay to use anymore. So but that's what it reminds me of, like the, you know, bohemian, let's say. But I don't know, am I confusing? I thought bohemian was more like hippie type of thing, but you know what I'm talking about. So here, yeah, it's just offcut pieces of quilting fabric, and then you add a bit of gold, you add a bit of bright color, and these nails are helping too, aren't they? And gold all the way, like in general for me, as you know. And of course these little coiny things. And there's a bohemian or boho inspired tag. I love it. I have to make a whole journal that's that style. Shall we do another simple one? Okay, well, this one is cardboard. I started off very simple, and then I went a little bit elaborate. So it's just cardboard. Look at that, glued on. And then you can go from there, really. I do have this die cut, which, you know, it's kind of sticking out. It's kind of 3D, but I love me some of this corrugated cardboard, and you can, most boxes are corrugated. You just need to remove that top layer. So cool. Let's move on. This one is a pen holder. This is desperate times again. Last night I was like, what do I do? And then I did a project on pen holders a while ago, and you know, isn't that smart? Well, I don't know how smart it is, but to have a little pen holder on your tag, and I don't know why I put an all in there, but you know, imagine having a little pen. I know why I put an all of my pens were like quite large for this thing, so they're like sticking up too much, and I needed a smaller kind of a thing, so I just grabbed this and put it in there. But you get the idea. A pen holder on a tag. I don't know. Desperate times of desperate measures. Let's do more simple ones. This very simply is called sewn hearts. So I use my punch to punch out hearts, and I glue the hearts down so they're not kind of moving around, just a tiny little bit of glue, and then I sewn through them. I love this look. I have used this technique before, and I think it just looks beautiful on a tag or on a journal page or wherever, you know, art journal page and whatnot, and edges of your journal. Anyway, and then up here I have a little bow that I just, you know, look, I mean, how good does that look on a tag? Yet when you look at it like this, I just cut down this fabric that's like ruched fabric, cut it down, and this looks so beautiful on tops of tags. I love this color, but in a bag it looks like rubbish, which really is what it is. It's rubbish, but not on my house. So here's that, and a little charm and a beautiful tag. Next, let's do this one next. This one is, I did say foil. So I do have this sticky foil, and I think this is used for insulation for your like ducted heating and stuff like that. I have a roll of this, and I glued some hearts underneath, like punched out hearts, and then went over it with this foil and kind of like embossed just the edges of those hearts so that they really stand out. I think this idea can be really expanded upon just using foil. You can use regular foil, but you just have to make sure that you don't rip through it or peel it off or whatever. I found this foil at a resource rescue center, so I don't even know where you would be able to buy it, but it's an idea to ponder. All right, let's do another kind of elaborate one. Let's pull this off. This is a trifold tag, so it opens up like this, and also this is the back. So I cut one large piece of paper, and then I went ahead and I marked where I'm gonna cut these to make them smaller, and then matted with a scrapbook paper and embellished. You know, a lot more work than a lot of these, but worth it, I think. And by the way, I do have, like I said, probably 130 tags, but 100 ideas. But there are lots of ideas that I didn't actually get to do. Anyway, so I will tell you when we get to the end what other things you can do. Now this one, very simple. 2 examples of covering a tag with fabrics. This is upholstery fabric, and the better the fabric, like the prettier the fabric, the prettier the tag, obviously. I just glued the fabric on, very straightforward. Does it even deserve to have its own category? I don't know, but it looks really good. I love it. So, you know, just cover your tag with some fabric and put a little thing up the top, and off you go. Let's breeze through the rest, shall we? Here we have texture paste. Use your stencils, use your texture paste or modeling paste, whatever, and off you go. I have a video, by the way, on DIY texture paste, and you can have all different colors of your texture paste. Next one is a corset design, and I did it on both sides. So you can see on both sides, there's this corset kind of thing, and then a tag that's on the inside, and also same over here at the back. So very simple to do. I just punched some holes on both sides, kind of across from it, like I made sure that they don't even have to be in the same, you know, same line. And then used a piece of string and just, you know, did the corset thing, tied a little knot here at the end, and very easy. And this one, again, is another one of those ideas that you can expand into other areas of paper crafting. You can make a whole journal. In fact, I did. I did it in my book. Here's my book, Treasure Bookmaking. I didn't mean to do this promotion here, but I just wanted to show you this kind of thing, like that idea alone. And let's see the finish. Where's my finished project? Here it is. Like, this is actually a tissue box that I use. You see, tissue box junk journal, and that's the kind of thing that I did, the corset design with the bow on top, because you can't see the back, and that's an actual journal. So the way that I see it is that each of these ideas can be expanded to other things. All right, next we have a 3D window. So all this is I cut, you can see I didn't even glue it down. Was I supposed to glue it down? I'm not sure. I cut a little window into my tag, and I'm calling it 3D window because I didn't cut these off and it's kind of sticking up. And then I glued a book page on the back and a little sticker, a little rose sticker. And there's my, I think this was like when I first started making the tags, this was number 5. So, you know, I went from really simple ideas to kind of more elaborate. All right, next, another very simple idea is a vellum overlay. Very soft and beautiful looking. This kind of thing reminds me of a newborn baby or a wedding or something like that, or shabby chic even, you know, just a vellum overlay. Very simple. All right, next, this one here is a loaded tag. And basically I did do like loaded pockets using book pages before, so I'm just kind of recycling ideas because lots of ideas can be done in so many different ways. So what I did here, and what I particularly love about this tag, is I was using my off-cut pieces of paper, and instead of gluing them straight across like this and creating pockets, I created slanted pockets. So you can see first slanted pocket, you can see this one here. I love that kind of look, and isn't it just, I mean, I'm looking at this, I'm getting so many ideas on just this technique. These were literally strips of paper, and I just glued just the bottom piece down, just because you want to leave it as a pocket, right? I mean, are you getting ideas and using this, just this one idea? Now I can't remember how I had my little angel cards. Anyway, I put it in. It's going to look rich and beautiful. Loaded pocket tag. All right, next simple idea is handmade paper. This is handmade paper. I didn't make it personally myself, but if you stamp on it, any stamp on a handmade paper, and these ripped edges and then inked edges and then glue it down and just a little number. Found this in my stash. Just a little, I felt like, oh, I need a number. And there it is. This was, as you can see, Desperation Times. This was number 85. Oh, I want to do this one next. This is a beaded tag. So I did stamp on the tag because otherwise I'll look empty. But the idea of this one is to bead the top. I used wooden beads. I left this piece up the top a little bit longer and strung those wooden beads on top or through both pieces. It's very hard to explain it like this. Should probably just show it, but it's pretty straightforward. I don't think I need to show it. And then I tied a loop up the top, and then I had all this extra that I chopped off, so it looks very, very neat. Very simple, right? Beads. Beaded tag. Oh, here was the first one that I made, which was a playing card, and this is the idea that I saw in that book, my inspiration book. Just a playing card. Could have left that as a pocket, but I didn't. Just a playing card. All right, next, I love this one. This one is newspaper. So this is just one way of using newspaper. In fact, I do have a video, a newspaper video. All these videos are linked down below. So what you see is a newspaper that's covered in cheesecloth. It makes it more fun. And then I kind of like, what did I do? I can't even remember, you know. And then inked it, and then stitched it, and then texture and powder. I don't know. The Eiffel Tower, what's that got to do with anything? Doesn't matter. It looks good, and I enjoyed making it. And yeah, newspaper. Next we have embossing powder. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I mean, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of this one, to be perfectly honest, because I don't work usually with embossing powder, so I really didn't know what I was doing. It's not bad. Very nice. Kind of nice. Next one is burlap, and I know that we've already seen burlap with the buttons, but that one was buttons, okay? And this one is burlap. And then I have some hearts. Oh, If you want simple, well, this is it for sure. Oh, another one. I have a whole video devoted to this idea, and this is paint chip sample cards. In that video, obviously, I'm making many different projects using, you know what they are, these paint chip sample cards. And why do I have this many? Look, I do not. I think when I first started making junk journals and things like that, I went a little bit crazy with collecting things, and then other people were like, every time my dad went to Bunnings, which is a hardware store, he would like grab a couple for me, you know. So I have lots, and then, you know, but I also create lots. So at this time, it's not something that I advocate, go to a hardware store and just take samples, but if you have some, you know. And then glued them onto my cardstock and went to town embellishing. Well, not really, didn't do much. I just glued something on top to make it, you know, and did the toppers, and very simple. Next one. I really enjoyed making this one. This is broken jewelry, just using broken jewelry. So we have an earring over here. This used to be an earring. And this was, I can't remember, a pendant. I think it was a pendant. And yeah, I just used a brad to hold them in. They're two different pieces from two different things. And then we have a chain. I'm just holding it over here with a jump ring. And some butterflies in flight. I think it looks, I mean, this one idea can go so many different ways. Look at this. I made these treasure binding journals not that long ago, and I don't know why I'm showing them. Like, oh yes, I know why I'm showing them, because I was using like pieces of broken jewelry and things like that. Like you can see here, this was a bracelet, and yeah, anyway, and these are all buttons, and so broken jewelry, the way to go. Next idea, also very simple, is to cover the whole tag with a piece of lace. If you have like a curtain or something like that, you have large pieces of lace, how pretty. And then you have a little applique up the top, or a little tag topper, and so beautiful and shabby chic. Next, very straightforward, is using strips of paper. So I know I have a full box of just strips of paper, and by the way, I will get to the organization videos that I promised. Strips of paper will be one of them, or paper offcuts in general. And then just, these are all separate pieces of paper that I have glued, just overlapped on top of each other, diagonal. You can do straight, you can do little, this is something that I didn't get to, like little squares and, you know, that kind of thing. All right, strips of paper. This one here is using magazine images. Endless ideas with this one, just magazine images. And then I altered the magazine image by I actually just added stuff onto it, like glued these little flowers and a little thing here and a little thing here, and that's all it is. It's actually a magazine image. I think it looks gorgeous, and a little bow up the top. I love it. Desperation Times Calling, number 97. That one was coloring book, very simple and straightforward, but pretty cool, like pretty effective. I like it. Coloring book. Oh, okay, I like this one too. I like all of them. I'm going to stop saying I like it. This one here is junk mail envelope window. So we're using junk mail envelopes, and in fact, here's an idea for the junk mail envelopes, where you're just using strips of different junk mail envelope insides to create like the school tag, but then you can also use the window portion to create this. I have so many videos on junk mail envelopes. I think I might even have a playlist, so I will link down below. So junk mail envelope windows and junk mail envelopes. I did this in one video or another, and you can create master boards, like a large board of this. I'm not going to take them all out, and then use your die cuts and just cut out little tags, and you know, I have a whole bunch here. Next we have a faux seal. I have a video on this is a hot glue, so that's why I'm calling it a faux seal. I'll link that video down below, because I'm using hot glue, and that's actually dried flour. You can put a sticker underneath or whatever. So basically I'm using hot glue and a cold coin to create faux wax seals. That video will be linked if you want to have a look. Otherwise, you might have the real thing, which beautiful, looking beautifully if you wrap it a little bit of thread, just sewing thread around the card just to make it stand out a bit more, and then use the seal on top. How gorgeous. and simple and easy. This one here is more into the themed kind of realm. This is a gentleman's tag, I called it. So we're just going for the masculine, and I do happen to have this Tim Holtz masculine man standing there, resting his hand on some, just randomly hand hovering in the air. So I'll put this here so it can look like he's resting his hand. It's just random number and clock and book page, and I'm calling it a gentleman tag. Here's an interesting one. This one here is words from books. So you can make poems. I also have a video on this as well. You can make poems, you can write a story using book page words. So I wrote a poem, I think, The breath of life is spirit, or maybe I didn't write it, I actually just cut out the whole sentence. The breath of life is spirit. The creative power existed since primitive beginnings. There is no denying that beautiful symmetries occur inside us and in nature. Clearly, I did make my own poem because it doesn't really make much sense. But, well, I was in the moment and just demonstrating kind of what you can do, you know? Next idea is acetate window with a sticker. I love this one. So you just cut out a window out of your tag and then you glue on or sew on. I prefer the sewing. Just some acetate. Oh, I actually forgot to rub the lines out. This is me like thinking, well, how big should my window be? Sometimes I can get a little bit perfectionistic, and I'm sure a lot of you know that. But anyway, that should have been rubbed out. How pretty is this tag? We have an acetate window and a beautiful sticker, and then this gorgeous thing at the top. Isn't it just gorgeous? So beautiful. There's our little gentleman there. We'll give him some flowers, shall we? All right. Nah, don't judge for this one because it's so straightforward. But this idea is simply to score. The idea is actually to score it and then write in the lines. But, you know, okay. I'm giving it a number. And here it is on the list of 100. You simply score your tag. It just looks cool when it's scored. Oh, I have to redeem myself now, because this one was just so simple. Look at this. Why didn't I show this one earlier? Oh, what's happening here? Oh, here we go. Here we go. I am redeeming myself with this beautiful and rich zipper tag. If you want to get into some more zipper fun, I do have a video dedicated to this specific thing and many different things that you can do, including journal covers, all explained in that video. But all it is really is a zipper that's half open, stuck on a tag, and then embellished to death, pretty much, as you can see. Yeah, that's up. Our words needed. Look at the beauty of this tag. That's gonna live in a journal somewhere. All right. Oh, this one is so simple, but so much fun. The idea is to punch your tag with an awl. So you're simply draw a design. It can be a name, it can be hearts, as you can see in this case. Also with the sewing, right? If you don't sew and you don't have a sewing machine, you can do something like this. To some people this will be like all the technique, but to others it will be like, why haven't I thought of this before? You can do so much with just a sharp tool and just poking away, but not with your hand right underneath where you're poking. You can do like so much fun stuff. So that's what I did. All right, now this one here, I don't have a video on, but I'm so going to do it because I want to do so many different things and variations and things that you can do with paper weaving. Okay, so this idea is paper weaving, and I'm going to do a video, but it's not just going to be like this straightforward paper weaving business. I'll do, you know, the usual, all the different things that you can do, all the different ways you can paper weave and all that kind of stuff. So I made 2 tags kind of from a distance, nothing special, but like the project itself, what can I say? What can I say about this project other than it is fantastic and I cannot wait to make a tutorial and share it with you. Next one I want to show you is this one here. This is a flip down envelope, and basically you're simply folding your tag. You're simply oh, look at that. you're folding your tag into an envelope, and I'm calling it a flip down envelope because the envelope opens up. It's flipping down. And I have this thing up here so that it can be like attached to something or whatnot. And then with the string, I just kind of go around here and go around here and then tie a bow over here and done. All right, let's do this one next. This one here is a franken tag using bits of paper. So like I said, I love me those leftover paper projects or leftover fabric projects, and you just glue them down onto paper, and then you can or you don't have to do the whole sewing around business. So all right, next one is this one. Not a huge fan, but I tried doing the foiling. You know that technique where you use the tacky glue and then you put foil on top and then you rub and then you get the foiling. So anyway, I kind of struggled with this one. It took way too much time, and I was doing these scratches things and it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to. So anyway, it is a little thing that you can do. I did this kind of thing on my oversized buttons. The edge, the gold edge, I think that looks beautiful. And then for the tag itself, I just did some stamping, and yeah, that's that one. Next one I have here is a fused plastic bag. I have a video on fusing plastic bags. So you're simply fusing them plastic bags together using an iron, and then you can make all sorts of projects, which I show in that video, from earrings to journal covers to like random things like this. So I just pulled this out of my stash. It's very sturdy, strong material, fused plastic, which would have ended up in a landfill but didn't because it's on my tag. But let's be honest, one day it's going to be in landfill anyway. But still, I still like to use things up in a creative way rather than throw them in the bin. Stop talking. Okay, there's that one. Fused plastic bags. Next, desperation times again. Stickers. You just use create a design. You can create a scene using stickers. I wanted this look to look like the bottle is kind of exploding. I wanted to have, you know, not the bottle, but you know, like champagne type of thing. But yeah, anyway, let's move along. Let's not dwell on that one. Next one I have, very straightforward, is a banner. So again, strips of paper, you just do this little notch and put them on top of each other and you have yourself a banner. And I think it looks cool, and they can be like little tuck spots in journals and stuff like that. All right, next I have two things to show you here. First one is shaker tag. So, you know this kind of thing, this kind of business where you just overlay with some acetate, you pop some sequin inside and you got yourself a shaker tag. But then also, I think I'm counting this as two different ideas, I can't remember. But this is a 3D shaker tag. So we're creating, instead of like just putting it on top, I created like a 3D effect. So it's actually two tags, one on the bottom, and then I have foam tape all around, and then I have the sequins inside, and you know, a large window, and I have a 3D shaker tag. Oh yes. Next, I don't know why I'm feeling a bit silly showing you like really straightforward ideas, but sometimes it's just the really simple stuff that you think, why didn't I think of that? This one probably isn't one of those, but it is a simple idea. It's just a strip of paper and it's being placed diagonally across the tag and made into a pocket. And, you know, very effective, very simple, but beautiful looking, and a bit of sewing around the sides and done. Next one is themes. So this one is travel themed. I think I saw this particular design somewhere on Pinterest or something, and then I just kind of like went, we have a map and then we have a book page, and then I was looking for like travel kind of things. So with the travel theme, you can do Thanksgiving, Halloween, autumn, summer, winter, Valentine's, Easter, Christmas I've done, but so on, and like steampunk. What else do we have? Some of the ones that I didn't do sewing themed, I didn't do numbers, I didn't do feathers, circles, like paper quilting, steampunk. Look at all of these that I, birthday, Thanksgiving, applique, Easter, Valentine's, Halloween. Anyway, I said all of those. So these are some of the ones that I didn't do, but We are nearly there. Okay, this idea is using your alcohol inks. And in particular, again, I do have a video of DIY alcohol inks using like markers and stuff like that when they run out. When they run out, you don't want to be using brand new markers. So anyway, if you want to have a look at that video. So you make your own alcohol inks and then you create all sorts of fun stuff, which again, I've explored in that video. But for this tag, I just simply, this is actually a photo paper. And I used the alcohol inks on it and then I just glued it on top of my tag. And in real life, it looks a lot more vibrant and fun than it does here on camera. We're nearly done. This one was Desperation Times 99 flip down tag. So it's very similar to the flip down envelope, but it's a little bit different because it's like it's a tag. The other one is, you know, this one here, flip down envelope. And this one is a flip down tag. So I just used a long strip of paper and, you know, created this kind of thing. And this is also a pocket here, but I didn't put anything in it. Or is it? I don't know. I think it's a pocket. Didn't put anything in it. And yeah, and that's, this was last night at 11. Oh, I need more ideas. All right, this one is just blinging it up. This is kind of like that, what I showed you before, those blingy journals, where you just use up all your bling, just glue that bling down. Look at that. I like it. We are slowly but surely nearing the end. The next idea is to use faux rice paper. I do have a video again on this, and you know, what can I say? I mean, I've made a video on a lot of these things and then I have them in my stash, so then I pull things out of my stash when I'm making things. So that's why you hear me say this often. So basically all this is faux rice paper, okay? So you can have a look at that video I made. But look, this is what it looks like. This is sewing paper that I made into this faux rice paper using that technique explained in that video. And I had to use that in this, on the tags, because I think this looks gorgeous. And I mean, this can be like an over the page kind of a thing in a journal. Next we have a swing tag, and I love this idea because this is one of those ideas that can be made many different ways. You can have different sizes, you can have different papers and all that kind of stuff. You can see that I use different stencil. And by the way, let me just say that stenciling isn't included in the ideas, but as you see, I used a lot of stenciling because this cardstock that I used, it's not very appealing, so the stenciling kind of helps. Anyway, this is the swing tag idea. Little swingers are swinging away. All right, now this was true Desperation Times last night. Window with charm. And the reason why I'm saying true Desperation Times is because this isn't my make. Somebody actually sent this to me and I love this idea. I want to explore this particular idea. I want to make journal covers looking like this. So you can see this is all handmade paper, and then we have a window here cut out, and then we have a charm that's held, you know, both up the top and down the bottom. And isn't it just absolutely stunning? I'm so going to expand on this one idea and make other stuff. All right, this one here is twine. I'm just calling it twine, but you know, I have these like twine bits on the sides here. You can do them down the bottom here. I'm not sure how much I love this tag just as it is. I think it could have been done a bit better. I could have had a sticker, could have embellished it differently, but let's just focus on the idea here. These twined into the tag. I think it's time to stop. But there's only a few more to go, so let's go with this one next. We have done franken paper, but now we're doing franken fabric tag. Oh yes, very innovative idea right over here, as you can see. So lots of different pieces of fabric, and then you just want to make sure you add the wow factor, wow factor, where you have a little bit of blingy stuff in there. So you have a little bit of gold and a little bit of silver. That's not very blingy. I mean, we can make it more blingy. And I have a topper, and it just, I don't know, it could be done better. I mean, imagine if we just, let's see, randomness over here, a little butterfly on that tag, or we have a little button on that tag, you know, just little things. This one here I made last night. Again, desperation times. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't going to do 100. I think I was going to do like less than 100. And then last night I decided, no, I want to do 100. So this here is a lace flower. And I have a tutorial on making layered flowers with lace, right? So in this case, actually, I used the doily and then a whole bunch of fabrics, you know. And then it looks like an actual flower, but really, anyway. All right, this one here, I'm not all too excited about this one, which is why I probably left it nearly to the end. Where you use your punches, you just go ahead and you use your punches on your tag, and that's it. You call it done. Move along quick. Next one, I don't mind this one, is sequins. So I love to sew sequins onto projects. And yeah, so this can be like, the tag topper. Oh, I like that better. I don't know why I had it down here when it looks so much better up here. That's also like a large sequin. Oh, look at that. Very interesting. And then I think this is the last one, unless I've misplaced some others. This one here is a paper clip. So you make the whole tag into one large paper clip. And then when you're working on your goals and like, where's that really important goal that I want to achieve? Look how many goals I have written down. 0. You can have your tag attached to a page like this. Like that's, I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. So you have one tag, you put the paper clip on it, and then you glue your second tag on top, and then you embellish the tag, and there it is. You have yourself a paperclip tag. This paperclip isn't going anywhere because it's glued in between the two layers. Plus, I also use a strip of masking tape to hold, you know, the paperclip in place. And there we have it. So those are my 100 tags sparked by this spread that I saw in a book. And when I first started making the tags, which was a few months ago, you know, it took a little while to create these tags. I was really excited about this project, but then when time came to film this video, which is today and last night, getting prepared, I had all sorts of insecurities happening. Insecurities like, you know, is this something that people want to see, or is anyone going to watch this kind of thing, like tags? And some people might think, what do you use these tags for? And, you know, all that kind of, and also not to mention this thing that happened, which I said was a gardening accident, which sounds more plausible actually than what it was. I said gardening accident because I don't know, I just thought people would relate, but I don't know why I said that, because it wasn't a gardening accident. It was actually, I was cleaning a brush and I held the handle of the brush and I went to clean the brush and the handle snapped and scratched me, and I thought, how am I going to film this video with this ugly thing on my hand, and what are people going to think, kind of thing. So I just went with the gardening accident. Lie. I lied. It was a broken brush. But anyway, these are my 100 tags. I don't know why I went into that, but you have to let me know what you think. I think this is my favorite one. Which one is your favorite one? Please let me know in the comments down below. As I said, I did not explore all the possible ideas. There's thousands of ways to embellish tags. What am I going to do with these tags? I'm sure someone somewhere is going to think, what's the point? What's the point of this? Well, what is the point? Let me take a seat. The point for me is a challenge. The point for me is to grow it creatively. This isn't something that I was going to do overnight. Like I said, it's been a few months that I've been creating tags. I think it's fun to think, you know, of all the different ways that you can not only embellish tags, but incorporate these techniques into your journal making. If you make junk journals, then you know what the tags are used for. You can use them on gifts, you can use them as writing spots, and a million other ways that you can use tags. But what I'm planning to do, hopefully, I think, is to create tag books. And I have an idea, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with this idea, but I have these photo albums that I got, as you can see, for $1. I have 2 of them that I got from a thrift store. And I'm planning to do like pockets maybe, I'm not sure. I'll have to ponder, but I was thinking of creating tag books. I have done a tag book in the past, but I want to have books specifically devoted to the tags that I made. So then I have the techniques kind of in one place, or it might have to be like maybe 2 books. So I have them all as a little reminder of all the things that I can do in my journal making. Something kind of similar to this book, and this is a video that I have called 30 Breathtaking Ideas for Decorative Page Edges, and basically it's just all the different ideas that we can use on edges, page edges of our journals and so on and so forth. I have this book sitting on my bookshelf like this, facing out, and it's just glorious, absolutely glorious looking on my shelf. So this project for me doesn't end here. I'm going to take it further. I'm going to create a beautiful book that I'm either going to keep adding tags into, or I'm going to be taking these tags out and placing them in my handmade books, journals, and so on. So that's the plan. Is that something perhaps that you would like to see? The creation of the tag book. Let me know, and I shall get right onto it. In the meantime, please let me know your thoughts. Any questions you may have, put them down in the comment section below, and also please let me know which one is your favorite. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.